always cool things happen. And it looks like, oh, I just hit the start match button. Yes, it's going to be on Overgrowth. Thank you so much for your patience. It's time for game 1 of Scarlett versus Polt.
I can't wait. As we can see, the players are a little bit perhaps tired as well, but as soon as the game goes live, we know that these players will step it up, and it's going to be an amazing best of 3. Multiple times Scarlett has defeated Polt over the last few days. However, new day, new tournament, new venue, and after all, Polt is the reigning champion of MLG Anaheim. And over here, in the left bottom side of the map, we have a reigning champion. He played fantastic in 2013, and he's been good for many years, representing Cooler Master Storm. It is Polt.
And in yonder top right-hand position, the Queen of Blades herself, it is Acer Scarlett.
Well, Sean, we're going to keep our eyes open as one SCV is already making its way towards the north side of this map. And Polt is not a player that would normally 9 SCV scout. So I think this is going to mean that things are going to be a little crazy on Overgrowth, and this is something that Polt has not done over the last 3-4 best of 3s.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that he's willing to do this when it could have potentially been revealed, I mean, this is a huge risk from Polt. Normally you'd look at this and go, aha, he analyzed his matches during the last week's Red Bull event. He's going to try to go for this risky play, but we've had a delay of like an hour and a half. Has Scarlett gone to rewatch the game? Has Scarlett checked her Twitter and had someone say, hey, check for proxy? It looks like Scarlett has not done anything yet. Very smart positioning from Polt with these proxy racks, though.
Yes, they are. It's unlikely that an Overlord is going to scout it in the near future, as one Overlord is heading into that direction, though, and might eventually see it, but I don't think that there will be enough time for a drone to make its way over there and start harassing on these SCVs. The pool is not super late, Sean. It was a 15 hatch into a 14 pool. Ooh. That is pretty much the quickest spawning pool you're going to get if you still open up with a hatchery first.
Yeah, I mean, this very much so does not look like what Scarlett typically does. Normally she goes hatch, drone, pool, drone, gas. Makes sure to keep her economy up and going, and it's going to turn out, in this situation, be a great choice. Oh my God. Oh my God, she hasn't spotted it. She doesn't see, she doesn't know. A single drone from Scarlett moving down.
But she did see the SCV, and that might actually just be enough already. As this one drone is going to go to the low ground, we'll see this bunker going up for Polt. Now this is going to be extremely important. I believe there are 3 SCVs here, or is it 2? It's just 2, so it's not going to be some crazy bunker action. And from this point on, Sean, it's all about micro.
It already looks like Scarlett pulled her Overlord back, expecting the proxy, trying to keep it alive, trying to conserve every little bit of cash. That SCV!
That SCV is actually in a really good position and is getting a lot of HP on this bunker.
Finish it! Scarlett suddenly in emergency mode. The drones not only didn't prevent the bunker from finishing, but also didn't even really kill off any Marines.
No, this is actually a very good opening over here for Polt. This Spinecrawler is in range as well of these Marines, so these Marines will be able to force a cancel on it. This is pretty bad news for Scarlett.
Scarlett is going to have a very difficult time swinging around this. It looks like the drones for Scarlett are just going to beeline straight for the main base, and 3 more drones are incoming for Polt.
Interesting, because these Zerglings are making their way across the map. They will find a bunch of SCVs that are being transferred, perhaps for additional bunkers, but of course above all also for repair potential if Spinecrawlers would eventually finish up. There is another supply depot going up at home, so it's extremely important for Polt that he raises the depots. You don't want to have to deal with these slow Zerglings in your main base, and that is not going to happen.
That depot's getting very dangerously close to finished, and Scarlett now has to be up against 3 repairable structures. Scarlett is still trying her best to stay alive, and it looks like she's going to abandon the natural expansion.
This is looking very tough for Scarlett. I really don't know where she should go with this now. She doesn't have any extractors. She morphs in 2 now in the main base. Also trying to get a Spinecrawler on the main, but a 1-base Zerg. Of course, this is a huge commitment for Polt, and it's not easy to transition out of this, but he's going to have Scarlett contained for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes.
A very, very solid opening from Polt, getting a dominating position by using his knowledge
so many
of Scarlett.
Marines as well.
this is a little bit of a dicey choice for Polt. He doesn't have to end the game here, but I think he's starting to worry about his late game potential.
Not just that, also these Marines represent a lot of DPS in this phase in the game, and slow Zergling is going to have a very hard time connecting with these Marines, especially when they're being controlled by Polt. Once more, it all comes down to micro. Of course, the Queens are very frustrating, but right now there isn't too much energy just yet.
Man, I wish there was like a money loss from repairing tab, because these Zerglings have been doing some sick work. Command center down for Polt, Zergling speed up for Scarlett, and I mean, I really wonder, what is the appropriate follow-up for Scarlett? Can she just win with the Baneling bust?
I have a hard time imagining that is correct. I actually don't know, Sean. I was about to ask you the same questions, so stop asking the right questions, because I really don't know what you should do as a Zerg. It's going to be so hard for Scarlett to secure her natural. She will have speed finishing up in roughly 60 seconds from this point, but as we can see, this command center is more than halfway done. For Polt, he's in a fantastic economic position, and perhaps Scarlett is still able to transition into a macro game up to a certain point, but she is down 5 workers on 1 base against the Terran player, where the second command center is about to finish up before that hatchery is even being morphed in. I don't know what the right response is. I don't know if there is one.
Scarlett, I think, is being very smart with a small retreat of her Zerglings, not trying to engage the Marines, just trying to conserve units as much as humanly possible. She didn't commit yet to getting Banelings. And in this spot, typically as a Terran player, what you'd really want are Hellions. Those are the best anti-Baneling Zergling play, as the Banelings can't hope to catch up to those. But we see the Zerglings knocking down the front. They haven't revealed speed yet. Ooh, that's kind of a cute choice.
That is actually beautiful timing there by Scarlett. She's revealing all these Zerglings, even though the Extractor did get spotted, but it did not reveal the fact that it had speed. And it was really funny, as soon as the last Marine died, like 2-3 seconds later, speed was ready. Now, of course, Polt is aware of this, and there's a lot of Zerglings. There is no wall off in the natural yet, so I think it's going to be a little bit tricky for Polt as well to secure his natural. Of course, eventually he'll be more than fine.
Oh my god, no. Polt went for 3 reactors. Don't do that. Now, all of a sudden, Polt has absolutely no production. Polt should have been absolutely fine against this if he'd managed to get up everything.
The orbital is actually going to scout. It's moving forward. This could be a great scout. The good old orbital command that scouting, why not?
Oh, a huge error from Polt. I don't think there's enough units to be able to stay alive. All those barracks were building reactors. The Banelings move up, immediately take everything down, and these Marines are so vulnerable, but the bunker finishes in time.
There is one bunker. The Baneling is not really connecting with a whole lot of units. These Zerglings are picking off a few SCVs, but let's not forget, there is not a great economy behind this for Scarlett, so she's going to have to kill a lot more SCVs than she's done so far, but she's definitely doing some good work.
13 SCVs to 25 drones. Somehow Scarlett is ahead in economy.
Well, do you believe in a thing called Mule, Sean?
Mulicles?
Yes, they're pretty good. Because now a lot of Marines will make their way across the map. Combat Shield is already finished up, and this is still going to be pretty tricky for Scarlett to deal with. She would love to do nothing else than make drones for a while, as of course, you know, 25 workers, even though it's 12 more than Polt has, that is not enough to saturate 2 bases. The creep spread, even in a bizarre game like this, is, you know, on the money. He's doing a very good job with that. But these Marines that are making their way across the map, and Polt is able to produce 5 of them at a time now, these are still very frustrating to deal with.
Oh, geez, 7 at a time. We see more drones popping out, and all of a sudden Scarlett realizes, uh-oh, huge Marine push coming. Combat Shield gives you the opportunity to do those early moves, and I think this is a nice play from Polt. He might be able to do a kill, but he's definitely going to do the guaranteed damage of kill in those creep tumors.
He's going to move forward. There are a few Banelings being morphed on the north side of this ramp. That's actually going to be really important. I'm not sure if Polt is expecting Banelings, but all of these Marines are so clumped up. He's really going to have to split them up a little bit. Here come a couple of Banelings, and wow, getting fantastic connections.
Oh, man. I mean, this is the weird spot to be in for Terran. So Polt has just beautiful production. He's going to be able to get up such a big army for later. For now, Polt can't hope to move out safely. Polt's going to try to advance and try to cut into Scarlett's production, but I think Scarlett's actually going to be in very good shape. She's going to be pleased to see these packs of Marines moving forward. Polt cannot map control in the way he would with Hellions. Polt can't prevent, for instance, this expansion from going down for Scarlett. I think Scarlett stabilized absolutely magnificently.
Yeah, this is actually ridiculous. That really shouldn't have been that easy, with +1 being so far ahead of any upgrades from Polt as well. Once more, there is a bio hit spot moving to the north side of the map. There is no creep there on the left side. Stim will be ready soon, but now we do see 22 Zerglings on the production tab and 5 Banelings being morphed in as well. If Polt gets a cancel on this hatch, that's nice, but he definitely shouldn't lose all of these Marines, but he will perhaps be able to get the cancel. He should stim, and he's stimming. Beautiful focus fire on that Baneling.
Wow, Polt microed that very well and actually does get the cancel. An incredibly risky move from Polt that appears to be paying off, but I mean, the game is going to get worse and worse and worse for Polt as it advances. Polt has thrown away small packs of units again and again, and right now, Scarlett is about to power up. She's about to get 1-1. Her layer is just finished. I mean, this is a surprisingly close game for having begun with a proxy.
This game is unlike anything else we have seen these two players play in the last few days, where they played against each other multiple times throughout the tournament. Haven't really seen a scenario like this. Scarlett's going to have to be careful there with her slow Banelings, as he will probably not get the connections that she's looking for.
Well, she's going to get the surround for certain. Those Banelings guarantee that the... Never mind. Nope, not going to get any surround. Ignore everything I've said.
Nice little wall by Polt as well in his natural. He should be safe, but his upgrades are so incredibly late. It seems like Scarlett is making a crazy amount of both Zerglings and Banelings, with Baneling's speed being more than halfway down. This time she will get at least 2 Hellions. The last one will not fall, but this is so great because he's taking away all the map vision of Polt. Polt has no idea what's going on. He's probably worried about a lot of drones, but there is something else he has to worry about.
It's going to be a massive Zergling Baneling bust. Scarlett does not want to give Polt any initiative. Begins to move in a single medevac.
Not a single bunker here. There's not a single bunker.
Banelings roll right in the front. SCV's extremely vulnerable. Baneling speed not quite done. Polt, known for his incredible splitting. It is helping him stay alive in this spot, but I am getting increasingly worried about that. One medevac that's heading to the top right.
Yeah, this one medevac might be able to do some damage still. That was a pretty okay attack by Scarlett. I think she would have loved to kill a few more. Beautiful split in the end by Polt. If Polt would have had those 8 Marines at home, it would have been a lot easier for him to deal with it. The drop is unfolding in the main base. As we can see, there are actually a few Zerglings and a Queen in position as well. So Polt for now will evacuate. He does have +1 on the way, so eventually he will be able to catch up a little bit. Scarlett is currently already on 1-1 with +2 attack on the way, but there is no Spire. And now we even see a 4th base. Sean, you mentioned this already in the start of the day. A ridiculous amount of Zerglings, Banelings, and Queens and Creep Tumors, but the Spire is often pretty late. And even when it's ready, she doesn't go crazy on the Mutalisk immediately.
I think the biggest key, though, for Scarlett is needing to get that +2 Carapace out. All these little moves from Polt, I think that Scarlett should be relatively safe against. Scarlett has the lead in SCVs, has so many Ling Banelings. Even a cancel here is not the biggest deal. Macro Hatch going down in the main, and Polt is desperately trying to find some edge, some way to leverage his great micro.
Yeah, he does have a nice army supply lead. It's going to be tricky for Scarlett to get a good fight. He does have quite a few Banelings to work with. Perhaps he could potentially send a few Banelings in from the side. Polt is going to start working on his hatchery. The splits are okay, but there are too many Banelings, so for now he will be forced to evacuate. Scarlett just having enough units to stabilize and not losing anything else other than that 4th hatchery, which was a little opportunistic.
I mean, the game took a little while to get started, but man, was that wait worth it. We are seeing one of the most clever comebacks from Scarlett from a very awkward position. And right now, think about each scan the Terran throws down. There's only 2 orbitals. Normally there's a 3rd. Always there's a 3rd at this spot. But Polt is starting to stilt his own economy, and we're starting to see SCV production has halted at 39. I think Polt is going to commit to this attack. Wow.
He's actually bringing a lot of SCVs across the map, so this is a beautiful moment for Scarlett to fight, because I actually feel that she wants to fight as well with 28 Banelings. There's no way, there's almost more Banelings than there is Marines, and then it doesn't matter if your name is Polt or not. There's just no way. I don't really understand this attack by Polt. Yes, he only has 2 orbital commands, but this is not going to work.
Oh my god, the number of Banelings, no amount of micro can save Polt now. On creep, SCV's getting obliterated. Gee, what a win!
Well, Sean, that was quite the first game. That was a little different than what we expected, especially after how well the 2 racks originally started for Polt. Normally, if you can kill the hatchery, if you still have your bunkers up there, you're in such a fantastic position as a Terran player, but I think what you mentioned was excellent. He dropped more bunkers than he had Marines up to a certain point because he was building all those reactors onto his barracks.
Well, there's this sort of odd feeling that you do, that you sort of build typical Zerg versus Terran around, which is, I gotta control his expansions. I gotta keep his economy down. I have to prepare for when I have 2-2 and medevacs and actually can mount a big attack. But in Polt's shoes, he didn't have the Hellions. That's the big space control unit. He didn't have medevacs. That's the second biggest, poke and harass and space control unit for Terran. Polt needed to sit back, needed to have those 4 barracks just build up army, let Scarlett take that extra base, let Scarlett tech up to layer, and move out with something like 50 to 60 Marines in one swoop. It's those little tiny attacks that felt like they should be right. Those work in normal Terran versus Zergs, but in that game, I really think it spelled Polt's downfall.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous game. Probably not like we're going to see too many, or we're not going to see too many games play out like we just saw game number 1 being played out on Overgrowth. Our second map is going to be played on Frost. Now, one of the most interesting things on Frost is always to see where the players spawn, because it has such a huge impact on how they want to play, especially a TVZ on this map.
Ordinarily, we'd say that, for instance, horizontal positions are a little bit of a struggle for the Zerg player, because in the horizontal spots, well, your 3rd and 4th base are very close to Terran. But given Scarlett's style, I think it's going to be harder for Polt on his side of things. The creep spread is constantly going to be moving forward. Both of Polt's 3rd and 4ths can be hit from these massive Zergling Baneling sizes. I really definitely think that Polt probably is going to be looking for a cross-map position.
Yes, we'll see. Either way, we are trying to get the game lobby up. As we said, second game is going to be played on Frost. We're just going to rehost it real quick. We have a long day of StarCraft ahead of us. Obviously, we are a little bit behind schedule, but that does mean that all the next series are going to start real soon up to each other. So we're going to have a lot of games back to back to back to back.
We'll be stepping into a brief break to get Game 2 set up. Don't worry, we're not going to be going anywhere. And when we return, we will be seeing Game 2 of Scarlett versus Polt.